Hey squad, welcome back. Now, one of the most important parts of the entire music production process is, of course, mastering. And today I want to take you through my process and the tools I use to complete that job. Now, by no means would I call myself a mastering engineer. That is a very specific role, someone who has the right skill set, training and equipment in order to perform a great master. However, technology now allows mere mortals such as me and you to be able to master our own tracks within our own environment. Now, there are tons of great options out there, and I'm going to show you what works for me. Now, I've been using iZotope Ozone since version 4, and I've followed it all the way through. The current version is version 9, and it has grown and developed in something quite amazing and intuitive over the years. And that's why I choose iZotope Ozone. There are other plugins, of course, I use alongside that, but my main tool for mastering is Ozone. So let me give you a quick overview on how I use it and why I believe it's a great option if that's something that you want to do yourself. And as always, if you're feeling what I'm doing and you find value in these videos, remember to support me by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment, and if you want to support me even further, you can check out my music on Spotify, or you can make a donation, which will certainly help the channel grow. Anyway, it's that time, so let's get into it. Okay, so here's the breakdown. I've got a track right here which has been finished in terms of production and mixing. I've exported all of the tracks as stems and printed the effects to those tracks. I've then grouped them all together in track stacks, as you can see, and all of the levels on all of the tracks are at unity gain because I've already printed the effects and the levels according to what works for me. So let me play back a section of this track so you get an idea as to what we're dealing with. So as you can see right here, I've left quite a lot of headroom for the mastering stage. I generally mix my tracks pretty low, and that leaves me a ton of space for when it comes to mastering. Now you've heard the track, and we're going to do some mastering using Ozone. Now there are a couple of ways in which we can do this. I can bounce down the song as a stereo WAV file, and then re-import it into Logic in a new project, and then apply my mastering tools to that single stereo import. However, I'm going to do it slightly differently today. I'm going to insert Ozone directly onto the main stereo output and work from there. So let's do that now. Okay, so I've closed up all of my track stacks just to kind of create some space on the screen. And this track down here is my main stereo out. Okay, so now I've inserted Ozone. One great thing about this new version of Ozone is the fact that it's scalable. So I can just fill the entire screen with this interface. I can come like so and pull this like so and just fill up my entire screen, which is brilliant because now I can see a lot more detail on screen. One of the great things about the iZotope range of plugins, and using Ozone as an example, they've put together all of the essential tools you need for mastering into one package. So unlike the Waves bundle where you've got tons of different options, this suite narrows things down and gives you less options, but you have the right set of tools to get the job done. So this, of course, is the default screen. We've got an EQ here, and we've got a maximizer here, okay? Now, if I click here, we have all of these additional tools that we can include into our chain, and we'll get to that in a minute. But every single one of these items here are essentially mastering plugins. But for now, let's come over to the Master Assistant up here, and let me show you what this does, which is quite incredible. Click on that, and we're asked the question, what are you going for? So we have these options. First one, do I want a modern sound or do I want a vintage sounding master? I'm going to go for vintage. Then, in terms of EQ and loudness, do I want to use a reference track which I can load up, or do I want it to be done manually? And the intensity, I'm just going to leave it as medium intensity. And the final question is my master intended for streaming or for CD? Well, this one is going to go out on Spotify, so streaming. Next thing I do, of course, is hit next down the bottom here, and then I'll play my track. Now, as you just saw, whilst the track was being played back, Ozone was carrying out analysis, working out what would be the best set of plugins to use in the chain, what order to place them in, and what adjustments to make to give you a great jumping off point. Now let's do a quick A/B of the track. How cool is that? Now, by no means would I say this is the finished article, but it's definitely a great start. But for now, let's look at some of Ozone's other amazing features, and then we'll come back later on and actually do the proper master of the track using the incredible Master Assistant, artificial intelligence, plus I'll add a couple of modules to give me the flavor I'm looking for. Okay, so another great thing about this plugin is this. Let's come over here now to where it says default. We click there and now we're into the preset manager. And to be honest, we are absolutely spoiled for choice. Look at this. We've got 4 different categories. Plus you can create your own presets. And just look at this under all-purpose mastering. Look at all of these amazing presets that give you some sort of description as to what you're going to be getting. Genre specific. Now this here is crazy. Look at all these genres that you can choose from to actually get you started. I can go ahead and maybe put something across one of the buses. On the synth group, which would be this one right here, I can insert an instance of Ozone and just take advantage of the preset that we have here and modify simply to enhance the overall sound of the mix before I hit the master. So the Ozone modules can also be used as part of your mix process. Finally, you have some more signature presets right here, which you can mess with. But the point I'm trying to make right here is you've got so much to get you started. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is run the Master Assistant one more time and then add 1 or 2 additional modules to finish off this master. And then we'll properly compare the before and after. So let's do this again. I'm going for vintage sound, I'm going for medium intensity and streaming. Hit next and let me play the track back. Okay, so these are the modules the Master Assistant have added to my mastering chain, and I'm really happy with the results so far. However, I want to add a couple more things just to sweeten it to my taste. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click on this, and I'll come down to a vintage tape. Now I want my vintage tape to be right at the beginning, and I've got some presets that I can choose from. So let's go for increased warmth. I'm going to add that in. Okay, let's hear that back. Okay, the other thing I want to add is an imager. and I'm going to slot the imager just here, just between the vintage compressor and the vintage limiter. And now, as you can see, at the moment, all of these bands have been disabled. So once again, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to click on the preset. I'm going to go for modern width. Let's click on that, close, and I'll boost this up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make a few more adjustments and then we'll listen to the final master. Okay, well that's pretty much the sum of it. Ozone is a fantastic tool, and in particular for those of you guys who aren't necessarily interested in becoming mastering engineers, Ozone is an ideal solution if you just want to master your own tracks. Now, I highly recommend this suite of plugins, and it's my go-to whenever I'm doing my mastering. Of course, I use other tools around this, but at the heart of all of my mastering is Ozone. You may have noticed I was using the free trial version. Now you can go straight to the website and download a fully featured, full functional trial version of the software to get a taste for it. And believe me, once you get a taste, you won't want to let it go. Great stuff. I really do hope you found the video useful. If you did, drop me a line in the comment section, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This will really help me out. Now remember to support me at deucebeats.com as well as on my social media channels. And finally, switch on that notification bell so just like the rest of the MTTC squad, you will find out as soon as my next video drops. Until next time, I'm Dr. Deuce. Peace.